I know that this chest is at least 80 years old, and I wonder what's inside it. I'm going to open it here and show you the contents of this old chest. And I would like for you to follow along with me as I share with you what's in this old carpenter's chest. Join me as I share stories of my life as a kid, bringing junk home and turning it into something useful. Fact is, I'm still doing this today at age 69. Last week, I made a short little video about this chest here, this tool chest. I bought this old tool chest at an auction years ago. I guess close to 50 years ago, if I think about it. I haven't opened it for years. The lock is rusted up. I wonder what's inside it. Stick with me and I will show you. I bought this chest around 50 years ago, 5 decades ago. It was probably at least 30 years old when I bought it, maybe even 50. So it's a very old chest. It's the kind of tool chest that many people used in the day. Before I open it, I'm going to give you a little history. I bought this chest when I was 19 years old at an auction. And it was in an old bank barn. The guy had passed away and he was having an auction, or they were having an auction of his estate, and this carpenter's chest was there. I looked at that and I was intrigued. I could tell it was handmade, and I wondered how many people use this carpenter's chest. Back in the day, they used to use these to put their tools in, and they would haul it job site to job site. It was their toolbox. That thing actually could be 8 decades, maybe even 9 or 10 decades. Yes, I said 100 years old. I don't know how old it is. I know it was old when I bought it, and that's 5 decades ago. To give you an idea of the age, this is the key that opens this. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I put the key in here and I couldn't turn it. It was frozen. But as you'll see, it opens very easily. It's been a long time since I've had this opened. I think you're going to be thrilled to see what's inside. I hope you are. I've added stuff over the years. The last 5 decades, I've added my own collection of tools in this box. I don't remember what's in it because it's been that long since I opened it. Oh my. I kind of forgot how much I've actually put in it. I want to bring you over here a little closer so you can actually see the contents of this chest. Well, one of the first things I see here that I'm going to take out is this little hammer right here. That's a tack hammer. I've got my red paint on it. That's what I marked my tools with in the day, which was common. People would put a little paint or some distinguishing mark on their tools. But that's an old rusty tack hammer used in upholstery. Next, I actually don't know what this is. I've never seen something like that. I don't know what that is and why it's in there. Wow. If you know what it is, please comment. This is a clamp of some kind. This would go down, go like that. You'd slide something in there and then tighten it up. My best guess is that was used to hold a saw to sharpen it with, but I honestly do not know. If you know, please comment. I'd love to hear from you and what you think it is. It's right here. Let's get you up just a little bit. I do know what this is. It's a slater's hammer, and an old one at that. Popped a slate with that, would put a little hole in it, tacked a nail in there. This edge was sharp where you could trim the slate. I believe I used to use this back in the day when I did a lot of slate work. I used to do a lot of it. Pulled a nail out with that. It's an old slate hammer. Wow, that's neat. I don't know what that is. A roll of wire. Wasn't uncommon at all to have wire in a toolbox. What is this? Wow. What is that? It's an old file. Look at that. It's an old file. You can see the marks, but somebody has machined that. Wait a minute. That's got file marks here also. I wonder what this file was used for. If you know, please let me know. I am very interested in knowing what this file is for. An old coal chisel. Now what do we have here? Another chisel, coal chisel. Wow. Okay, this right here I used to use. You may know what it is, you may not. But back in the day when we did a lot of timber framing, we'd make the mortises, which is a hole in the timber, and we would square the corners up with this chisel. I would have sharpened this many times. I used to make and turn these out on my lathe, but that's an old corner chisel. That could date back anywhere from 50 to 75 years, I would guess. Corner chisel. Wow, this is neat. I probably threw this in here just because I thought it was unique, but it's, what is it? I don't even know. I probably did at one time. Do you know what this is? Let me know in the comments. Well, this isn't old. Not sure how that got in there, but that's just an old Stanley utility knife. It's busted. An old homemade chisel used for something. Not sure what. This is a ringer's pliers. You'd put your ring in there, clamp it. Could have been used to ring upholstery, clamp it on. I doubt if it was a hog ringer. Boy, that looks old. What is this? I'm not sure what it is, but it's old. Looks like a nutcracker, but couldn't imagine a nutcracker being in a carpenter's tool chest. Look at that. Let me know what it is in the comments. I have no idea what this is. An old wrench. Could clean that up. An old drill bit that would go into an old Yankee screwdriver, drill, brush drill, or they called them braces. Wonder if I have one in here. Here's another bit that you'd use in a brace. This is a scribe. A lot of times you'd use it to mark wood. You'd open it up, and if you wanted to get a line on a piece of wood, you'd hold it against what it is, and it might go like that, and you could scribe on the wood, or you could make 2 points for precise measuring. It's really old. C-clamp. Look at that clamp there. Isn't that something? We still use them today. Another makeshift tool for a brace. When I say a brace, I'm talking about an old drill that had a handle here, and you'd hold it and you'd go like this. An old 3-cornered file. Not sure what that would have been used for. It looks like a stamp. Might have had a letter on the end of it. Very possible. Saw blade. That's not that old. Probably only about 30 or 40 years old. Not sure what that is. A broken piece of steel. What do we have here? We have another bit. It's still in pretty good shape. Pretty sharp. Few nicks on it. And another one. It's a drill bit. What do we have here? This is some kind of a template for something somebody would have made. I have no idea. If you know, let me know. I have 3 of these in here. They're old block planes. You might think that that isn't old, but these have been around for a long time. This one and this one. 3 of them. Can still buy these today, but these are a lot older than what you see on the shelves in the hardware today. What is this? Huh, look at that. It's an old turning tool. Put it on a lathe and you'd go like that. You could turn wood with it. An old turning tool. Back in the day, they used to make a lot of things out of different pieces of steel. At first glance, you would say that that's probably what this is, but honestly, I don't think it is. The way that's tooled, the 4 corners chamfered, this looks like it was pounded on, it's flattened out. So this would have been the cutting edge at one time. Feels like an old file though, that's what it is. Absolutely, that's what it is. It's got file marks on it. Somebody took an old junk file and turned it into a tool. Here's another old wrench. I can't read what it says, but it does have writing on it. Fair amount. Something. Wow. Would have been a stone to sharpen their knives with. Boy, that's been used a lot. Another old corner chisel. You might think that that's junk, but let me tell you, it isn't. You can shine that metal up, put you a new handle in here, and put a razor sharp edge on there, and that would cut like you wouldn't believe. Trust me, from someone who's done a lot of it by hand. What do we have here? Why is that broken down like that? I don't know. But there's just pieces of metal in here. I don't know what they're to. An old saw blade for something. Again, another flat piece of steel. Another blade. I don't know what that's, a piece of wood. This is a cutter off of something. You can definitely tell it. See the cutter? I don't know what that's off of, but it's in the old toolbox. It's brass. Another piece of brass used for something. Well, that's it in that drawer. Let's put this stuff back in and set it to the side. I'll set this to the side and we'll take a look at it. Oh my, what is that? Let's take a look at this old handsaw. Wow, that dates back a lot of years. I bet I used that 50 some years ago, 50 years ago. I've had that saw a long time. If you notice, this has that little dimple on there. That I would have at one time knew what that was for, but I forget. I'm getting old. I honestly don't remember. If you know, please let me know. I see that the other saw has one on it also. This saw here, I actually remember buying this saw at an auction. And the reason I bought this saw is because of the teeth. This isn't an ordinary handsaw. This saw specifically was used for ripping lumber. And the reason I know that is the teeth on this are a lot more aggressive than, let's say, this Stanley handsaw, which really isn't that old, but it is. They're hard to come by. You don't see a lot of them anymore. But you have this Stanley, and then if I get this one out down here, this one is older, a lot older. You can tell by the handle. It's got this brass. It's missing one of the rivets, but look at the uniqueness of that handle. And there again, we have that. But I really don't remember what that's for. I'm going to have to look that up, but if you know, let me know in the comments. This saw's unique. I don't think I've ever seen a ripping saw before I got this one. Here's another old hand plane. Look at the finish in that woodwork. They sure don't make them like this anymore. There's a lot of moving parts in that. If I would clean this up and sharpen that blade, this would cut wood like you wouldn't believe. Use it a lot of times on doors to trim them down a little bit so they fit. A little bigger one was doors. The smaller ones a lot of times are cabinet doors and just smaller stuff. This was for bigger. They even made bigger than this. This right here is a hand drill. Put that in, put your bit in there and turn it. They don't make these new anymore that I know of. If you know where, let me know. Well, that works nice. That's just so smooth. You could drill a lot of holes with that drill. This one is brass, and you can see how the square bit fits in there. It has the metal bit in there, and it would work the same way. The difference between this one and the one I just showed you, if you know the tops, this has where you could put your chest down into it and really put the pressure to it. Two drills, very interesting. Now I have another one here, down here. This is called a breast drill. It's very old. Let's see if there's a name on it. I can't read it. Most of these were Miller Falls. I don't know what this one is for sure. Put your chest down on there. You would turn this. Doesn't turn very easy. It's a 2-speed. Here and here, by adjusting this, you can move up and down and it changes the speed. This handle obviously was replaced, but there you have it, a breast drill. Now at first glance you might think this is the same, but it isn't. It is a breast drill, but it's a ratchet one. This ratchets, and it has these mechanisms here. This particular drill happens to be really old, and you can see right there the Miller Falls Company I'm not sure how old it is, but this has reverse, forward, and 2 speeds. It's a very unique drill. You don't see many drills like this anymore. This drill in particular, with the shape it's in, it has a lot of value. I remember when my dad gave this to me. He gave it to me one year for Christmas. Makes me kind of sad to think about it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is designed to slide back and forth in here. See how that slides? So you could get to your tools down below. Isn't that nifty? Somebody spent a lot of time on this, and if you want to take it out, it's made to lift right out of there. I'm going to leave it in. Somebody made a scraper. Get that. You don't know what this is. At first glance, you would think it's a hammer to put tacks in again, but it isn't. This hammer here was designed to sharpen millstones and other things. This was a chipping. I used to have a whole set of millstone sharpening hammers. Yes, I know how to sharpen the old flat French burr stones. My dad took me. There was a man by the name of Dewey Sheets that taught us. He was from Muncie. He died in 1996. He was born in 1900. You may recall the license plates that I've shown you on this channel. Someday I'll make a video of them. But I have his collection of license plates from 1913 all the way through. I'm not sure when it ended. I don't remember. I'd have to look. An old chipping hammer. This looks like something that would have come out of an old pickup truck. I don't even know what's in here. It's cloth. It's definitely something to store something very delicate in that you don't want to get dulled. There's no, wait, yeah. There's no writing. I can't tell. There might be writing on there. I don't know what it is. I honestly do not know where this came from and what it is. If you know, let me know. I really would appreciate it. If you see this video sometime, even if it's 10 years down the road, if I'm still alive, comment. Wow. Set that right back there. You have an old screwdriver, another old homemade tool, a bit for a Yankee screwdriver. I don't know what this is. Wow. What is that? Flat chisel at one time. It's broken, but I could sharpen that and make it work just as good as new again. Chisel to punch, someone made. Saw blade. An old corner chisel. See that handle? Used to make them out of anything they could find. That looks like an old carved dowel rod. Bit, bit, bit. 3 different bits. Another chisel, file. Corner file. By the way, I used to use these to get into tight places, especially in cutting threads that were flattened out. I don't know what this is off of. It's a piece of wood, but somebody used it for something. There's a lot of these flat-headed machine bolts in here. Slotted head, square nut. Still shiny like new. All of this. That there. And these would have went on to storm windows to hold them in place. This is actually a cast piece or a molded steel. This is pressed steel. A long time between this one and this one. Set of old hinges. Some brass screws, an old opener. Another chisel that someone has broken. I could make that look really good yet too. An old outlet cover. Acorn nut, it's kind of unique. Got a little teardrop on it. Looks like one of them Hershey Kisses. There's this threaded in there. Another saw blade, not very old. Cardboard. Just a lot of stuff. A lot of history here. Still got some stuff down here. An old hook. They would have used that for a lot of different things. Could have been a meat hook. Could have been a hay hook. Could have grabbed a piece of timber with it and drug it. That kind of a hook. It's hard to say what to use that for. There's another stone. Very interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. An old carpenter's pencil. I've never seen any shape quite like that. Look at that. That's pretty cool. This would have went into a box that would have had slots cut in it to cut trim straight this way. Usually had 45 this way and a 45 this way. That's really old, guys. It's not broken either. It's the way it's made. I could make the box that this would have went into. It's not in here. That is really neat. I didn't know that was in here. Boy, I forgot about a lot of this stuff. Look at this. Isn't that a cute little saw? That would have been a little trim saw. The teeth are worn down a lot, so it was used a lot. But that could be sharpened up in teeth again. A little notch there. I'm not sure what that's for. But that is just really a neat old saw. Coping saw blade. Another one of them turns. Chisel. Nails. Vacuum something or other. Wrench. Not sure what this is. Looks like some kind of stamp again. That's interesting. I wonder what that came off of. It's got some writing on it. U.S. I don't know what that says. It almost looks like Army. I don't know what it is. If you know, let me know. Why, that's a unique nail, isn't it? Never seen a nail quite like that. There's a rivet. Somebody made that. That's kind of interesting. That looks like it's been cold welded. You would have forged that and then pounded it after it got a certain temperature. It can pound steel together like that. I see something in here that's really neat. Is that what I think it is? I've never seen this before. That is. Look at that. That's a little tiny saw. Wonder if that's a toy or if that's the real thing. I've never seen anything like that ever. I'm 69 years old and I've never seen something like that. Wow, that's really neat. It's an old saw. It's even got 2 little rivets in it. Can you see that? I hope when I'm long gone that doesn't get thrown away. It's too neat. It looks to me like, what is this? An old cigar box with the lid missing. These were used in the day, were made out of wood. It's actually before my time. But they'd stacked their cigars in there. And once the cigars were out, a lot of the old-time carpenters and anybody would use these to store stuff in. So a lot of them actually made it through to today. Factory something or other, and there's a signature on the bottom. Actually, it looks like the signature right there. I actually have some more stuff to put in this, so I'll be right back. Let me have a few minutes here and I'll go get it and I'll show you what I'm going to put back in this chest. I've put all the stuff back in the box, but I have some stuff I want to add. And I want to show you some of the stuff I have. It's an old screwdriver, flat. An old flat chisel would have been used for mortise and tenets. This is a draw knife. Grab it, pull it, would take off. Another draw knife, very unique. And you have to realize that I used all this stuff at one time in our timber framing. Another draw knife. No room up there for that one. Another screwdriver. Handsaw handle. Corner chisel. That's unique. That is really neat. Forgot I had that. It's an axe. See how it's sharpened right here? And how flat it is right there on this side, but not this side. I used to use it to shape round timbers into square timbers. And I made it by hand. That's really old. Got a lot of old tools to restore if I want to. Live long enough. Look at this. This used to have a handle on it. Pretty sure, and this was a sharp edge. Pretty sure this is how they split wood shingles. They'd make slabs of wood and they'd split it, and they could make shakes out of it. Shake shingles. I may be wrong on that, so if I am, let me know. Here's something that belongs to my brother Toby. He received this December 25th, 1995 from my dad. Some of these draw knives were his also. Another old wrench, an old butchering knife. It's got some initials carved in it. We still sell these over in a hardware store. They last for years. Corner chisel. Corner chisel. Little different end on that one. That one would take a metal hammer, where most of these you used a mallet. This is a screwdriver I picked up years and years ago. Always thought it was unique. I quit using it because of that. But look at that handle, how that goes up and forms at the end. Isn't that unique? That is one cool screwdriver. Look at that, another plane. My guess is the one you saw earlier and this one were bought the same time, given to us guys as Christmas presents. This would also be my brother's. If we ever had to nail stuff, this is the type of nail or fastener you would use in even, let's say, new log cabin or timber framing. Use a small sledgehammer to put it in. It's galvanized. It's a very unique fastener. I'm going to leave this out, but it's, well, I've never been a machinist, don't claim to be, but this deserves time spent on it and restoring it. So watch for upcoming videos, and I will show you the process that I'll take to restore this piece. I'm going to set it to the side. It's a meter and counter, you know, that is kind of cool. I'm not sure why I have that. I can't read what that says. Federal. I don't know what that is. If you know, let me know. I sure would appreciate it. It's like an old door knocker. Bam, 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 bam. It's not really a tool, but I have it. I'll throw it in there. Here again, I'm not sure what this was used for. It looks like part of it's missing. If you know, let me know. Some more drill bits we'll put with the rest of them. This baggie is full of some really old nails. You can see how those are made and how they're square and cut. I don't know how far these date back, but I do know that they're at least 100 years, maybe more. I think I'm going to go ahead and just put these back in this plastic baggie to keep them from getting lost, and put them in this chest, because I can almost guarantee that the next time this chest is open, I won't be around, or at least on this earth anymore. Unless after I get this restored, I put it back in. Well, that's everything. Old golf ball, don't know what that's about. Don't know what this is either. Chain. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I'll throw that in there. Throw a couple of these other pieces in here. This ball was saved for a reason. It's out of character inside there, but there you have it. This had a tape measure in it one time. This was a holder for it. Didn't make them like that anymore, do they? Might as well save the box. Just get thrown away otherwise. Well, that empties that. The rest of the stuff, it's a piece of aluminum, an empty baggie, and this wrench. What do I want to do with this wrench? I should restore it. It's not a wrench, it's a calibrator. I know it measures inside and outside measurements precisely. This would have been a forerunner to the digital. Guess right now I'm just going to put it back in here. When the spirit moves me, I'll get it out and restore it. But one last look. I'm going to lock this up, put my key back. I may open this to get that tool out of here. I may not. This may be the last time I look in this toolbox in my lifetime. It's locked. Well, I hope you enjoyed going through this old tool chest as much as I did. Two emotions, nostalgic and happy and sad at the same time. There's a lot of history in this old box. A lot of it belongs to this old guy here in our family. I appreciate you following along. Hope you enjoyed seeing the tools that I added. Like I said, if you've seen something in here that you know what it is, you want to comment on it, I would appreciate your comments. I want to hear about the old relics you may have laying around. Leave a comment below. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. Can it be fixed? Sure it can. Can you fix it? You're darn right you can. Don't ever think you can't. Until the next time.